But anyways, what's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy, man. Check Willie Silly, man. aka Mr. Take It Easy. Before you end up like Beezy, man, make sure y'all follow my Twitch, man. Subscribe to my second channel. Everything you know about your boy Jay, it's in the description down below. We got how the Ravens choked their Lamar Jackson. Lamar Harden! You know, golden era. But you know how it is, you know, John Harbaugh, man, you should have did this. Oh, man, you should have did that. Oh, man, you should have did this. You know how it is when it comes to Lamar Harden fans. You know what I mean? They just do not want to accept the fact that he's the problem. Always been the problem. It's always somebody else's fault. It's never his fault. But the whole time, I mean, the numbers don't lie. You know what I'm saying? The numbers don't lie. I don't understand how they try to argue when the stats, the proof is in the pudding. It's like, we're not hating on Lamar Harden. We're telling you the truth about Lamar Harden. He has more turnovers than he does TDs. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I right or am I wrong? He has more turnovers than he does TDs, but he's not the problem. You've always had a better team than bro, let's stop acting like, and that's what I say when it comes to Lamar Harden. One thing they love trying to do is make excuses for Lamar Harden. We gonna act like Patrick Mahomes don't got a worse team than Lamar Harden? The 2 times, okay, he had Tyreek Hill. You got Zay Flowers though, bro. Zay Flowers is a Pro Bowl wide receiver. Am I not mistaken? Is Zay Flowers not a Pro Bowl wide receiver? Is Zay Flowers is Zay Flowers not a Pro Bowl wide receiver? Is Zay Flowers not a wide receiver number 1? Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real, bro. You got Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, Derrick Henry. Like, bro, you had a good offense last season, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand. You had multiple targets. You feel me? And it's like I don't get it. We acting like, see, the thing is, when it comes to Lamar, they act like Lamar Harden the only one that doesn't have help. Bro, you got freaking Patrick Mahomes, who has a worse wide receiver core than Lamar Harden and still won 2 chips with them. Do y'all see that mediocre wide receiver core that Pat Mahomes rode with? They were garbage. Same thing for Josh Allen. Josh Allen never had a wide receiver number 1. Never. Look at what he worked with. They acting like Lamar Harden the only one. See, the difference between Lamar Harden and why people talk about Lamar Harden, it's not about the losing part. It's about you underperforming. Because even though Josh Allen, even though Patrick Mahomes, even though Patrick Mahomes don't lose, but even though these other cats lose that we talk about, Joe Burrow, they don't underperform in the playoffs. That's why people talk about you, Lamar Harden, because at the end of the day, yeah, they lose, but their play still doesn't decrease. They just lose. You lose and your play decreases. That's why people talk about you, Lamar Harden. They're going to make it seem like it's John Harbaugh's fault. Gonna make it seem like it's John Harbaugh's fault. You know what I'm saying? When the 3 seasons, y'all literally sold John Harbaugh. Mark Andrews dropped the ball. Freaking Lamar Harden fumbled the ball and threw an interception. Zay Flowers fumbled the ball. Can't make a freaking field goal, but John Harbaugh the problem. But John Harbaugh won a ring before this mother effer even came here. But John Harbaugh the problem. The freak out, but he blew a lot of games. This ain't Madden, bro. You feel me? You gotta blame the players too, bro. The players gotta get blamed sometimes, bro. This ain't Madden. John ain't controlling mother effers. But you don't want to talk about how John made Lamar Harden a 2-time MVP.
2 MVP.
Yeah, you don't want to talk about them 2 MVPs that I just brought up. Yeah, it's always Lamar Harden, but you don't want to talk about how y'all had one of the top offenses with John Harbaugh. You don't want to talk about how many seasons y'all had the top defenses with John Harbaugh, but he get the blame. But acting like he ain't make your boy a 2-time MVP. So who made Lamar Jackson then? Who made Lamar Harden? If John Harbaugh is such a bad, look, and that's the thing. Look, every coach produces players, right? Andy Reid produces produces Pat Mahomes. So many other players. Nick Saban produces Alabama players, but John Harbaugh don't produce Lamar Harden. So if John Harbaugh hires the offensive coordinator, you know what I'm saying, and you thrive under that offense, who made you better? Did John Harbaugh not make you better? Did you not have multiple seasons where your offense was like at least top 10, top 5? Did you not become a 2-time MVP under John Harbaugh? But he not the reason? If it wasn't for John Harbaugh, you would have fell out the first round. Nobody wanted you.
Awards and 0 Super Bowl appearances.
What are you talking about?
Reality of the Lamar Jackson era in Baltimore. The Ravens managed to build.
Who hired him? You know what I'm saying? You keep talking about John wasn't calling the plays. I'm talking about John built the staff, though, my brother. John still built the staff. Nick Saban wasn't calling the plays either, but he get a lot of credit. You know what I'm saying? Who hired him? Exactly. Shut the freak up.
On 2 separate occasions.
Who hired him?
One of the most explosive offenses in the NFL.
He hired him. He hired everybody.
The top-ranked defense backing a quarterback.
John literally hired him.
Completely different animal. Both of those runs ended
I hear about that jump
before they could even reach the finish line. You have to wonder if the blame should go to Lamar, the coaching staff, or just terrible luck at the worst possible moments. The reality is all 3 of those play a specific part, and year by year, we're going to be going over it.
Raven fans delusional, bro. They delusional.
Everything starts with Ozzie Newsome, who constructed 2 Super Bowl rosters in Baltimore and is one of the best.
Just a head coach. So anybody just a head coach then, bro. Don't just do it with John Harbaugh. Andy Reid just a head coach. He don't matter. Andy Reid just a head coach. Nick Sirianni, he just a head coach then. He's just a head coach, bro. Stop doing it with stop picking and choosing then. Everybody just head coach. They don't matter then. None of these head coaches matter. But now since Lamar Harden, oh, he's just a coach now. You see the hypocrisy? But when it comes to other head coaches, they matter. But when it comes to John Harbaugh, he don't matter. It's Lamar Harden. He's just a head coach. You motherfuckers be sounding weird as heck, bro.
History of the NFL.
And it's crazy how you ain't gonna see it because you're a weird motherfucker. You ain't gonna see how you just being so hypocritical. You ain't gonna see it. Just a head coach, man. Know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna see it. You got the nerve to say Andy Reid. You got the nerve to say Nick Sirianni. You got the nerve to say all these other cats. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to John Harbaugh, no, he's just a head coach. But you get praised to other motherfuckers though. Get the freak out my face.
By the time the 2018
get the freak out my face.
Newsome had already.
Motherfucker, I played football, bro. Head coach matter, bro.
Eric DeCosta.
I played football, bro. Shut the freak up talking before I ban you, bro. Real talk.
Clearly wasn't planning to waste the opportunity. Baltimore held the 16th overall pick heading into that draft, but Newsome decided to trade back twice.
Who the freak do you think freaking hire all the freaking coaching staff, dummy? You can tell motherfuckers don't play freaking football. Who the freak you think hire all the coaching staff, stupid old boy?
At 25,
dummy,
while picking up extra assets along the way. The team used those picks to select.
Who hired the offensive coordinator?
Followed by Oklahoma.
Who hired the defense coordinator?
And Mark Andrews.
John, dummy.
Well, that was already shaping up to be a very.
That's his staff. Stupid motherfucker.
Finished making moves yet.
Dumb
mother. Were watching closely late in the first round. Baltimore called Philly to trade 2 second-round picks and a 4th just to jump back into the first round, and they used that 32nd overall pick to grab Lamar Jackson out of Louisville. This was a Heisman winner who had spent months listening to critics tell him to switch positions, and he had nearly fallen out of the first round entirely before the Ravens stopped the slide. Ozzie pulled off one final heist, stepped back and handed the keys to Eric DeCosta. While Eric is a highly capable executive, the drafting standard Newsome established was generational, leaving the new GM with massive shoes to fill, and he hasn't really lived up to it. Lamar didn't actually start right away in 2018 because Joe Flacco was still the guy under center. The season started poorly with the Ravens going 4-5, and after 3 straight losses, people were openly questioning if John Harbaugh should keep his job. Even the owner Steve Bisciotti later admitted that firing the coach was a real consideration at the time.
But then you got this little trash old GM that ain't doing nothing, no. That's what I'm saying, bro. You got this little trash GM, he ain't building around John either. What are you doing for John? It all comes down, bro. You know what I'm saying? It all comes from ownership to GM to head coach. This dang GM ain't doing his dang job, so how you expect John Harbaugh to produce? He ain't doing his dang job, but John get all the blame. Come on, bro.
Everything changed when Flacco got hurt, allowing Lamar to take over in Week 11 and lead the team to 6 wins in their final 7 games. That run secured the AFC North title, saved Harbaugh's career, and gave the entire fan base a reason to believe again. However, the 2018 wildcard game against the Chargers served as a harsh reminder of the growing pains that comes with a rookie quarterback. Lamar struggled through a 14-29 performance for less than 200 yards, and the offense looked lost while he turned the ball over 4 times.
Look,
the home crowd was actually calling for Flacco to come in at halftime. The Ravens were trailing 23-3 in the 4th quarter, and Harbaugh decided to stick with his rookie.
Could have took him out, but Harbaugh kept him in. But that's Harbaugh's fault, huh? That's Harbaugh's fault.
Baltimore scored 2 late touchdowns to make it close. They still lost 23-17. After the game, Lamar admitted he played poorly, showing the kind of accountability that would eventually define his leadership. Harbaugh doubled down on his quarterback despite the playoff. There's no real logical way to describe what Lamar Jackson did in 2019, except to say that the NFL had never seen a QB do what he did. He led the league with 36 touchdown passes while simultaneously rushing for 1,206 yards, which officially broke the single-season quarterback record previously held by Michael Vick. The numbers were just staggering across the board as he posted a 113.3 passer rating and led the Ravens to a 14-2 record. Baltimore earned the top seed in the AFC and set the all-time single-season.
Look at this, and this is him winning the MVP. You know what I mean? No, he didn't get banned. He got timed out. Cause I don't like delusional people, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I don't like delusional people, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like people like that, I don't like, bro. You know what I'm saying? Look what John Harbaugh did, bro. You know what I mean? Give John Harbaugh a couple of pieces, you know what I mean? Because Lamar Harden wasn't just good coming out of freaking what's the name. That's what I'm saying. Lamar Harden wasn't just like that coming out of freaking college. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker acting like Lamar Harden was just like that coming out of college. You wasn't, bro. You know what I'm saying? John Harbaugh produced that man. You feel me? If John Harbaugh didn't believe in him, you know what I'm saying? If it was any other coach, they would have sat Lamar Harden butt down. You know what I'm saying? But John Harbaugh took a risk on him. You feel me? Took a risk on him, bro. And the thing is, we talking about the 2009 MVP season when he faced the Tennessee Titans. Was that John Harbaugh's fault? Look how terrible he did. Mention the playoffs. Mention how he performed in the playoffs. But you ain't gonna mention that though. It's gonna be John's fault again. Mention how he played, bro. This man won unanimous MVP in 2019. This motherfucker was garbage BJ in the playoffs. And he still gonna talk about some John? Dang, bro, like everybody that play football, bro, it pissed me off when it comes to casuals, bro. Everybody that play football already know, bro. The coach can lay out the blueprint, bro. It's up to you when you get on the field, bro. You know what I'm saying? Coaches can be the reason you lose sometimes, bro, but it's mainly the players, bro. It's most of the time the players' fault, bro. No cap, bro. You know what I'm saying? It be the coach's fault sometimes, bro. You know what I mean? But majority of the time, it's the players' fault. That's why I be saying all that blowing leads and all that, bro. Bro, it be them players, bro. Them dang players, bro, and executing the dang play. Always blaming the coach like it's some dang Madden or something. Ain't no dang Madden, bro. This ain't no Madden game. You acting like John controlling the players or something. Motherfuckers got to do their job just like John got to do his dang job.
As a team, all the offense hummed along at a pace of 33 points.
What are you talking about?
Because of that dominance, Lamar became only the second player in the history of the NFL to win the MVP award unanimously by taking all 50 votes, just following Tom Brady in 2010. The Ravens look completely unstoppable as they beat the Patriots and the 49ers during a winning streak that stretched from September all the way to the end of the year. Their roster finished with the highest scoring differential in the league, and the games show they were statistically one of the most dominant groups in the modern era of football.
Look what you did on the John Harbaugh.
In week 17 and taking a first-round bye, they sat at home waiting for a Tennessee Titans team that had just scraped into the playoffs as a 9-7-6 seed. What happened next became the defining image of the Lamar Jackson era for years to come, and it started when the Titans jumped out to a 14-0 lead that Baltimore never recovered from. Derrick Henry ran for 195 yards and controlled the entire tempo of the game, which forced the Ravens to abandon the identity that made them so dangerous in the first place. Greg Roman stopped running the ball altogether and called 39 passes in the second half alone, effectively putting Lamar in the drop-back role he wasn't ready to handle at that stage of his career yet. By the time the clock hit zero, Lamar had finished 31 of 59 for 355 yards with 2 interceptions and
I see that, bro. 31 for 59, bro.
Clock hit zero, Lamar had finished 31 of 59.
31 of 59, bro.
365 yards with 2 interceptions.
Yeah, 2 in this. Look how terrible that game was. Look how terrible it was. But that was on the coach, though. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do, bro, you got to understand, when it come to him, bro, Lamar Harden, bro. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Lamar Harden. No, the thing is, when it comes to Lamar Harden, he's nothing without his athleticism, bro. That's why he's only going to get worse and worse. He depends on his athleticism. You know what I'm saying? He depends on he's not a pure thrower. He depends on his athleticism, bro. You know what I'm saying? He needs to run, do all that. He needs to be athletic in order to, thrive. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like I said, bro, hey, 2 interceptions.
His passer rating plummeted to 63.2, and the final score of 28-12 sent the best team in football home early. Now, you had to put some of this on Lamar because he was missing open throws and couldn't find a way to make a play when the game started slipping away.
Thank you.
But the coaching staff
look at this.
Was missing open throws and couldn't find a way to make a play when the game started slipping away. But the coaching staff also failed them by refusing to adjust the scheme as the game went on.
Both.
A very specific plan to force Lamar into the pocket and take away the middle of the field. Yet Baltimore kept calling passing plays into a defense that was practically begging them to run. The playoff choker narrative really picked up there and has followed the organization around like a shadow ever since. While the Chargers' loss in 2018 felt like growing pains, blowing a 14-2 season as a top seed with a unanimous MVP was a much harder pill for fans to swallow. The story gets a lot more complicated from here because the 2020 season actually started.
You could blame both, bro.
A redemption story for the franchise.
You could blame both.
Baltimore drew a rematch with the Titans in the wildcard round, and this time Lamar didn't have to rely solely on his arm to get the job done. He rushed for 163 yards while the defense completely neutralized Derrick Henry, which gave Lamar the first postseason win of his career and seemed to shift the conversation around his legacy for a bit. However, they traveled to Buffalo the following week and things fell apart even faster than they had in previous years. The turning point came in the third quarter when Lamar threw a pass toward the end zone that Lamar Jackson intercepted and returned 101 yards for a touchdown. That play effectively—
That ain't on Lamar though, right? That they go, that's on John. John made him throw the ball. Look at my face.
Years.
I just tell the truth about Lamar Harden. They love trying to say that you're freaking hating on him when you telling the truth about him, bro. He's sorry. He BJ in the playoffs, bro. Like, they think just because, oh yeah, that's my favorite player, that you gotta just be delusional. Stop being delusional and stupid, bro. I realize it's your favorite player, bro, but it's called constructive criticism. It's called being real, bro. It's real. You know what I mean? I'm not making this junk up. That's the thing when it comes to these little stupid old Raven fans. They try to argue with facts. That just make you look stupid, bro. You trying to argue with facts, bro? Mother act like I'm making up. Mother act like I'm making up something. I'm telling you what it is. Your little stupid self trying to freaking argue with facts, bro. Yeah, you just a stupid mother effer then. You know what I'm saying? Imagine trying to argue with facts. Your opinion doesn't matter when it comes to factual things, Bucky boy. Your opinion only matters when it comes to opinionated things. If you think you have an opinion on a factual thing, you a dumb mother effer. How can I have an opinion on a factual thing? My opinion don't matter no more. Because I can't have an opinion on something that's a fact. It's either I believe the fact or I'm delusional. You know what I'm saying? That's point blank period. Now I can have an opinion about, oh yeah, Lamar Harden better than Josh Allen, or Josh Allen better than Lamar, because it's opinionated. That's what mature people start to understand. But I can't have no dang opinion when it comes to facts. That only make me look stupid. Oh, Lamar Harden has more turnovers than freaking what's the name? Dude, no, he doesn't. It's because of this. It's because of it. Here you go, trying to shift off to another conversation. Lamar Harden has more turnovers than he does TDs. But motherfucker, Lamar Harden has more turnovers than freaking TDs. It's always somebody else. It's always it ain't never just him. It's always somebody else. Every season is somebody. It never Lamar Harden. Never him. Freak out my freaking face.
Point came in the third quarter.
This ain't him.
Threw a pass toward the end zone that Toronto.
This ain't him. John made him throw that. I can't tell you how many times Lamar Harden sold John Harbaugh, but it's always Sean. Freak out my freaking face.
Johnson intercepted and returned 101 yards.
This right here matters right here.
Touchdown.
This was 10-3. This matters. That's why I said when it came to the Buffalo Bills game last time, they tried to blame Mark Andrews. But if Lamar Harden wouldn't have that first freaking half, you would never have been in that situation.
That play effectively ended the game, and the final score of 17-3 left the Ravens searching for answers once again.
But
Lamar finished with a passer rating of 68.1 and was forced to leave the game with a concussion in the third quarter. After back-to-back years of dominant regular seasons, the Ravens had suffered back-to-back early exits.
Trying to tell y'all, it's him. He the problem.
3 postseason record. The situation went from bad
to worse as
the injury years began to take a toll on the roster and the win column. During the 2021 season, Lamar missed a significant amount of time with an ankle injury, and the Ravens finished 8-9 to miss the playoffs for the first time since 2017. History repeated itself in 2022 when Lamar went down late in the year with a knee injury. Though the team was talented enough to make the postseason without him, they played Cincinnati in the wildcard game but lost after Tyler Huntley fumbled on the goal line, which brought another promising season to a disappointing end. But while the results on the field were frustrating, the front office was quietly building a foundation that would change the trajectory of the defense. Before the 2022 season kicked off, Eric DeCosta made the bold move to hire Mike Macdonald as the new defensive coordinator. Macdonald was only 34 years old and had never coordinated at the NFL level before, but the organization believed in the work he had done at the university.
So I'm delusional. You hear this little stupid, the bro said, I'm delusional. You said John made Lamar when Lamar first season, he won MVP. Who hired this staff? Who did Lamar Jackson win MVP under? I'm delusional. Who did he win MVP under? Stupid old little boy. Under what coach? Under what coach, bro? Who built the staff, bro? But I'm delusional. You stupid mother effer, bro. That mean Nick Saban just, hey, like I said, Quiffo, whatever your name is, I'm not finna keep going back and forth with you, bro. Because obviously you the delusional mother effer. I'm not finna keep going back and forth with you, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's the last time I'm addressing it, bro. Last time I'm addressing it, cuz.
University in
I ain't
Michigan.
gonna lie to you.
That
I ain't finna keep going back and forth with you, bro. Shut up talking to me, cuz, for real.
McDonald
I ain't gonna lie to
immediately
you.
installed a system that was aggressive, physically
Real
dominant,
talk.
and
Ain't
incredibly
gonna keep-
difficult for opposing
Delu?
quarterbacks to read. The Ravens were going to draft Swiss Army knife Kyle Hamilton in the first round of the 2022 draft as well. And the final
I ain't talking no more. Hey, bro, whatever your name is, cool, bro. I ain't talking no more, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Say one more thing to me, bro. You banned. I ain't talking no more, bro.
the 2022
Ain't gonna lie to
trade
you.
deadline when DeCosta sent a second and fifth round pick to Chicago.
I don't talk to people like you, bro.
Smith was
Make
arguably
you
the
talk.
best linebacker in football in Chicago.
He going
and
ban that
everyone
little mother. I
about
don't like
the
mother.
trade.
Like,
So the Ravens swooped in and secured him before anyone else could. The impact was felt within a few days of his arrival because his leadership and range allowed
mother was like him. I don't like mother was like him, bro.
When you pair the McDonald scheme with a centerpiece like Roquan Smith and a young star like Kyle Hamilton, you start to see the shape of a truly special defense. Even though they didn't have Lamar healthy for the end of the 2022 season, the roster was finally starting to look complete as they headed into the next chapter. The offseason heading into 2023 was so chaotic that it could have derailed the entire franchise. Back in March, Lamar Jackson had took to social media and had said that he requested a trade from the Ravens because they weren't meeting his value. It was a public standoff that felt like the end of an era, yet surprisingly no other team made a serious run at him. The Raiders and Panthers made some mild noise before backing off, and even after
Everybody know this mother effer overrated, bro.
tag on him, nobody stepped up with an offer sheet. It felt like collusion. Eric DeCosta eventually ended the drama by signing Lamar to a 5-year, $260 million deal just hours before the draft started, which was the biggest contract in NFL history at that moment. Right around the same time this contract saga was unfolding, Greg Roman resigned as the offensive coordinator. Roman had been with Lamar since the very beginning and built the famous run-heavy scheme, but the Ravens decided they wanted a different version of their quarterback. They went out and hired Todd Monken, who was coming off back-to-back national championships at Georgia, and he
Who went and got him? Who went and got him? Who went and got him? So basically what that little goofy was saying, whatever his name is, Quiffo, like I said, bro, people like him delusional. You can't talk to people like him. People like him, he called me delusional, but he the real delusional. You know what I'm saying? So that means no head coach matters then. Nick Saban doesn't matter. If that's the case, Nick Saban doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Did Nick Saban build the staff? Did Nick Saban build the whole staff? You know what I mean? Did you thrive under his hiring? Did you thrive under his staff? Do you not understand that everything, whether it's offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, quarterback coach, special team, all that is literally John Harbaugh's work? So if you thrive under that, did he not, you know what I'm saying? Did he not make you? I'm not gonna say he made you, but did he not have something to do with your success? If you're thriving under the freaking blueprint that he created, he hired the offensive coordinator. He hired the defensive coordinator. He hired all that. You know what I'm saying? He hired the quarterback coach. He hired the running back coach. He hired all that offensive line coach. That all comes through the head coach. If you have a bad head coach, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna show if you have a bad head coach. Stupid. Why you think you see a lot of head coaches leave and they team never the same? Dummy. There's plenty of head coaches that leave and their team never the same. You know why? Because them other motherfuckers don't know how to freaking hire like him. You see when it came to freaking Nick Saban left. Look what happened to Alabama. It's not a Nick Saban, Kalen DeBoer left Washington. Look how Washington look. But the head coach don't matter. Okay. Hey, bro, I played football. Like I said, I played football, bro. Head coaches definitely matter. They don't matter more than players, but they definitely matter, boy. Straight up. You see when it came to the Patriots coach. Got a new head coach. What happened? Went from a losing season to make it to the Super Bowl. It's not hard, bro. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to Lamar Harden, no, it ain't John Harbaugh. It ain't John. It ain't John at all. It ain't John.
Philosophy. Monken installed more passing concepts and spread formations.
We're going to see how he going to look. We're going to see how he going to look without John. Let's see how he look without John.
To operate as a
just John. Let's see how he look without John.
Happened to be the most dangerous rusher.
Whole new coaching style. Let's see how he look.
The results were insane immediately. The 2023 regular season was the closest thing to complete Baltimore Ravens football we have seen in this entire era. Lamar secured his second MVP trophy while leading.
Secured a second MVP. That ain't John work either. John went and got Todd Monken from Georgia. That ain't John work either. He thrived under that offensive coordinator, but that's not John though. It ain't John. The second MVP, that's all Lamar Jackson, right? That's all Lamar Harden, right? That's his work.
more Ravens football we have seen in this entire era.
Break out.
Lamar secured his second MVP trophy while leading the team to a 13-4 record and the top seed in the AFC. The defense was even more dominant, finishing first in the league by just allowing 16.5 points per game.
Sack.
They actually became the first team in NFL history to lead the league in fewest points allowed, most sacks, and most takeaways in the same season. Having Roquan Smith and Kyle Hamilton as all pros meant Mike McDonald had this unit playing at a level you rarely see.
Who do you think hired Mike McDonald? Come on, bro. Like, look at all these hires that John making. Come on, bro. Like, get the freak out of here, bro.
And Kyle Hamilton as all pros meant Mike McDonald had this unit playing at a level you rarely see. The
Not
divisional
rocket
round
science.
against Houston was not exactly a masterpiece, but in the playoffs, you just need the win. Lamar struggled badly in the first half because the Texans were blitzing him on almost every single snap, and he was visibly furious when he stormed off the field at halftime. The Ravens made the necessary adjustments during the break, the defense shut the door in the second half, and Baltimore walked away with a 34-10 victory. Then came the AFC Championship at home against Kansas City, which was the first time Baltimore had hosted a conference title game since 1971, back when they were the Baltimore Colts. The Ravens entered the game as favorites, the energy in the city was electric, and then they lost 17-10 in one of the most deflating games of this entire era. It was a total gut punch for a fan base that felt like it was finally their year. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs came out swinging with a touchdown on their opening possession to Travis Kelce. Lamar and company answered with an insane throw to Zay Flowers for a touchdown, but then things went quiet. Baltimore spent the rest of the afternoon desperately playing catch-up. The Ravens offense completely stalled out in the middle of the game, gaining just 69 total yards across 6 straight possessions. Lamar finished 20 of 37 for 272 yards with 1 touchdown and 1 costly interception. That pick was
like, come on, bro. Look at this. That's what I'm saying. Look, bro. How many seasons has this man sold, bro? It's not. Yeah, that joke be funny, bro. That joke be funny. It'd be hilarious, bro. Yeah, it's the coach's fault again, huh? It's the coach's fault, huh? Coach's fault. You know what I'm saying? Coach's fault. He had to throw that interception. You know what I mean? 2nd and 10. Look what he threw. Look at this. 20 for 37. Look at this.
72 yards with 1 touchdown and 1 costly interception.
Look at this. Look at this.
That pick was a forced throw.
Like, look at this, bro. But John made you do that? Freak out my fan. Y'all gonna see exactly what I'm saying. Y'all gonna see exactly what I'm saying about that mother. You'll see exactly what I'm saying. Watch how terrible the Ravens look. I'm not gonna say they look terrible, bro. Watch how bad they look this season. You're not finna look like that on the John. You're not finna look better on the John. You're not finna look. You're not finna. If he couldn't win with John Harbaugh, bro. Excuse me. No, I'm saying my fault. If he couldn't win with John Harbaugh, bro, he can't. He ain't winning, bro. Simple as that, bro. He ain't winning. Simple as that. You feel me? Clear as day, John ain't the problem because John won the ring without Lamar Harden. Who the problem? John won a ring with Joe Flacco, but can't win a ring with Lamar Harden. But John the problem? You know what I'm saying? No. I'm gonna defend my coach, man. I've been, like I said, been like John. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't never had nothing bad. Even before John became a New York John, you ain't never hear me say nothing about John, bro. I've always been talking about Lamar Harden. You never hear me say nothing about John, bro. Ever. Ain't never said nothing about John before he even became a New York Giants fan, bro.
When a triple coverage
Word up.
in the end zone late.
And never said nothing about John Harbaugh.
With the team trailing late.
Always been talking about Lamar Harden.
On his shoulders. Earlier in the game, Zay Flowers caught a 54-yard pass down inside the 10-yard line, but he taunted the defender.
Look.
15-yard penalty and then got the.
Who fought it in? Who fought it in? Look at the look. Who fought it in?
Down inside the 10-yard line.
John?
Taunted the defender.
Or the player fought.
And then got the ball punch a few plays later, diving for the end zone. With 2 MVPs and 0 wins in his only conference championship appearance, the choke artist conversation went from a whisper to a roar. And the Ravens didn't have much of an
Ain't John fault, bro.
After the loss in the AFC Championship,
they ain't player, bro.
The Ravens had a massive decision to make for their defense moving forward. Mike McDonald had built a genuinely elite unit over 2 seasons, but the Seattle Seahawks came calling and hired him as their head coach. Baltimore couldn't do much to stop it because for some reason.
And then the freaking the coordinator, you know what I'm saying? The coordinator that John Harbaugh hired went to win a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're gonna keep talking about John Harbaugh. And then the coordinator that John Harbaugh hired went to go win a Super Bowl. But John the problem.
And they didn't want to fire John Harbaugh, so DaCosta turned to Zach Orr, a former Ravens linebacker who knew the culture and had trust in the organization. The problem was that Orr had never coordinated a defense at any professional level, and that gap between him and McDonald was not just a theory. It showed up on the scoreboard almost every single week as the defense struggled to find its footing. The offense, however, was playing at a level that defied logic. Lamar Jackson put together what might be the best statistical season a quarterback has ever had in 2024. He threw for 4,172 yards and 41 touchdowns with only 4 interceptions, while adding 915 yards on the ground. He became the first player.
Easy to do that in the regular season.
Passing yards and
you ain't got all that pressure on you.
Same season. His passer rating sat at 119.6, which is the 4th highest in the history of the NFL, and he consistently put up massive numbers through the air and on the ground in the same game. Derrick Henry was a massive part of this historic production. Baltimore signed him in free agency, and he responded by running for 1,921 yards and 16 touchdowns, which broke Jamal Lewis's single-season franchise record. The combination of Lamar and Henry created the most physically punishing backfield in the league because defenses simply couldn't account for both of them at the same time. The offense finished as the best in the NFL by a wide margin, but the defense was giving up points so fast that Baltimore spent most of the year fighting just to stay relevant in the division. They finished 12-5, which was good enough for a wildcard spot, and they handled the Steelers easily in the opening round. The divisional round in Buffalo was a tale of two completely different.
Another one. What DJ Khaled? Another one.
An interception and loss of
Look at
fumble.
this. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. You know what I'm saying? Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it, bro.
Allowed the Bills to jump out to a 21-10 lead.
Ain't gonna talk about that
exactly
though.
Like every other time this team had shown up flat in January, and you could almost feel the national narrative forming.
Lamar Harden is the problem, bro. I'm trying to tell people.
That was when Lamar decided to take over the game. He started carving them up in the intermediate passing game, the chain started moving, and Baltimore slowly clawed their way back to the contest. They scored a touchdown to make it 27-25 with about 90 seconds left on the clock. They went for two and Lamar dropped back to find Mark Andrews hitting the out route. He put the ball right on the money and Andrews just dropped it. It was a clean throw and a relatively easy play for a guy of his caliber, but the ball hit the turf and the season was over. There's plenty of blame to go around for how this game ended. The defense gave up 27 points to a Buffalo offense that had lost Stephon Diggs, which really highlighted the drop-off from McDonald to Orr. Earlier in that same game, Mark Andrews had the ball punch out for a fumble that gave the Bills great field position and an eventual cushion. Those are the kind of drive killers that have nothing to do with the quarterback. It was a brutal way to end the most.
Oh, no, he definitely has some. He definitely has something to do.
Lamar finished 2024 as the runner-up in MVP voting, despite having better numbers than the actual winner in Josh Allen. He played the second half of the Bills game at an incredibly high level, but he also had those early turnovers that put the team in a hole. The record books will show another playoff loss, but the full picture shows a team that needed its defense to hold on, and it didn't, and needed its star tight end to make a play, and he couldn't.
Trying to hear that.
The 2025 season starts off on the wrong foot and only gets worse from there. During week 1, the Ravens host the Bills, which is the same team that knocked them out of the playoffs the year before, and they ended up blowing a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter. Buffalo walks away with the win because the defense couldn't find a way to get a stop when it mattered the most, and the offense failed to milk the clock to protect the lead, which felt like a bad omen for the rest of the year. September and October actually looked great for Lamar Jackson on an individual level, and he started the season with one of the most efficient stretches of his entire career. He put up numbers through those first 4 weeks that honestly had no competition or no comparison in league history, making the Ravens look even more dangerous than they were in 2024. The momentum stops when the injuries start to pile up, forcing Lamar to miss time and causing the offense to lose its rhythm entirely. Zach Orr's defense stays consistently bad during this entire stretch, looking like a unit that can't even hold a bad team to under 20 points. Baltimore spends the entire second half of the year grinding just to stay alive in the AFC North race. Everything comes down to week 18 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, where the Ravens need a win just to sneak into the postseason. This is where the era officially ends, and it happens in one of the most heartbreaking ways possible for this franchise. Baltimore is trailing late in the game when Lamar decides to take over, throwing 2 long touchdown passes to Zay Flowers to put them ahead.
This game wasn't on Lamar Harden.
Can't get a stop against 40
It wasn't on him.
Aaron Rodgers, and so the Steelers take the lead once more.
It wasn't on Lamar Harden.
A huge 4th down play where Lamar hits Isaiah Likely to get into field goal range. All that was left was for the kicker to nail a 44-yard field goal to seal the deal. Tyler Loop was a rookie kicker.
All freaking Awuzie had to do was freaking guard his man. Awuzie got routed up. We're going to blame the defensive coordinator on Awuzie getting routed up? You know what I'm saying? Awuzie got routed up. Got a TV. I think that was by Calvin Austin, the dude that we signed. And then your freaking dumb field goal kicker can't make the freaking kick, but John Harbaugh gets freaking fired. Make it make sense. But it's the coach's fault. Come on, bro. Better start blaming these little players sometimes.
In 2025, specifically because they needed a plan for life after Justin Tucker.
Oh, man.
The game ends right there. The season is over and the Ravens miss the playoffs for the first time since 2021. The fallout from that miss happens fast, starting with John Harbaugh being fired after 18 seasons with the organization. He won a Super Bowl back in 2012 and built a culture that stayed competitive through 3 different eras, leaving the team with 193 wins, which is the most in franchise history. The reality is that in 8 seasons with Lamar, he only won 3 playoff games and never made it back to the Super Bowl. So the front office decides a total reset is necessary. Zach Orr is let go along with them, and Todd Monken leaves to take the head coaching job with the Cleveland Browns. To start a new chapter, Baltimore hired Jesse Minter, who had been running the defense in LA with the Chargers. When you look back at what this era actually left behind, the resume shows 2 MVPs and 3 playoff wins but 0 trips to the Super Bowl. A 3-5 record in the postseason is a tough pill to swallow for a fan base that watched the most dynamic player of a generation come up empty in the biggest moments. Every single one of those big time losses has a different primary cause, and while some of it falls on Lamar, most of the blame is shared across the roster. This era didn't fail just because one person wasn't good enough to win it all. It failed because the team could never get every single piece of the puzzle lined up at the exact moment when it actually mattered. Greatness is never a guarantee of a championship, and this Ravens era proved it. I still think Lamar and company is going to win one, but I guess we'll see. So there you have it.
I don't think he's going to win one, bro.
And watch this next video if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.
I don't think he's going to win one, bro. That's just me personally, bro. You know what I'm saying? Honestly. He got to rely like solely on his freaking feet. Like, if he got to rely solely on his arm, bro, realize 41 TDs and 4 interceptions. But you got to understand, bro, the regular season is different from the postseason, bro. It's totally different. The pressure not as high. You know what I'm saying? It's proven facts. Like, do that in the regular season. Then when you get to the freaking postseason, freaking BJ. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's completely different. You know what I'm saying? It's completely different, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, regular season, it matters to a certain extent, bro. You know what I mean? It matters to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Like, that junk don't freaking, you know what I'm saying, matter as people try to make it seem. You know what I'm saying? Like, it matters, but it doesn't matter at that point. You know, you really only need like 10 wins to make it to the freaking, playoffs. You know, really, sometimes you could win with a 9-8 record. You know what I'm saying? So, realize what he's doing in the regular season, but I don't see that